It's a real privilege to be with you on this Tuesday. And today I'd like to go to 1 Peter chapter 2. 1 Peter deals with the suffering that the Christians were going through and the suffering they were going to go through in the days ahead. It was a great preparation, and there's a wonderful teaching. But I want to pull out one verse in chapter 2 that gives us a perspective that can help us as American believers. Verse 20. Verse 19. For this is thankworthy if a man for conscience toward God endure grief, suffering wrongfully. Now, if we're biblical and we suffer, there's a great blessing to that. But note verse 20. For what glory is it if when ye be buffeted for your faults, ye shall take it patiently? But if when ye do well and suffer for it, ye take it patiently, this is acceptable unto God. Now, I'm afraid at times Christians react to what's happening in the country, in our community, or other situations that we're in, and they take it into their own hands and they do things that are not biblical and right. We've got to be very careful to have a right attitude toward the authority in our life, our government, and the situations that we're in. We need to do what God would have us to do. If we have to take a stand, we need to even there be respectful and even take the consequences if we have to. But sometimes Christians will react and do things that are illegal. They'll do things that are not Christian. They'll say things. They'll have an angry attitude. They will strike out at people. They will be involved in demonstrations that are not done in a peaceful, godly manner, and therefore bring question to the cause of Christ. What they may be doing is right. The way they are doing it is wrong. And even in our job places, we might react to what's going on there, and there's a way to do it, and there's a way not to do it. And many times somebody may lose a job and they say, well, I'm suffering for Christ. But if you go and look at what happened, they were reacting in the flesh, and what they did, you can't blame the boss for firing them. That wasn't over a Christian stand. It was over an unchristian attitude. And so we as believers, in wanting to do right and in reacting to all that's going on around us, must be very careful to be spirit-filled, to have the right attitude, to have a deep trust in the Lord that He's going to take care of us, not take things into our hands that we shouldn't take into our hands, and to make sure that even when we have to protest, we have to make an appeal, we have to maybe not do certain things, it's all got to be done in a way that brings glory to God. For there is no blessing if we suffer because we brought it on ourselves. And we can't be pious about that. And it really hurts the cause of Christ when Christians do that. So from just the smallest level to the bigger level, we as believers need to count it a blessing if we suffer for persecution. But let's don't bring it on ourselves. For it's not only us that suffers, and there's no blessing in it, but the cause of Christ suffers. May we have the beauty of Christ upon our lives at all times.